Hello and welcome to the Federal. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is on a 4-day visit to the United Kingdom and the Maldives. This trip aims to seal a historic free trade deal with the UK and reset ties with Maldives. This comes amid a packed monsoon session of parliament and key geopolitical churn. So, on this, I speak to the Federal's consulting editor, K.S. Dakshina Murthy, who follows international developments closely to decode the strategic stakes. Optics and what lies beneath the headlines. Thank you for joining me, Dakshin. My first question to you is PM Modi is likely to sign a free trade deal with the UK during this visit. So, how important is this deal for both countries?
The free trade deal is definitely a big achievement in one way, because the discussions on this have been going on and off for the last at least around 3 years or so. And in fact, when Rishi Sunak was the Prime Minister of the UK, there was a lot of optimism it would get cleared then, but it did not. And in fact, a lot of doubts too were expressed whether it would ever get done. So the fact that now it's actually we are just on the verge of the FTA being signed, it is definitely a big step forward in Indo-British ties.
Okay. So in the past, Modi's visits to the UK have included big events with Indian communities and drew lots of attention. That's the same wherever he goes. But again, let's talk about UK, but this time with the UK's, Starmer government, do you think Modi is focusing more on serious talks than public shows?
Yeah, for instance, he's going to be there just for 2 days, and the FTA is a very important agreement because it's going to really change the contours of Indo-British trade. In fact, to begin with, the volumes are going to go up, and then it's going to be far more easier for the freight or the commodities to move between. The UK and India, and there are some specifics have been mentioned. Cars, for instance, the electric cars from India will not be tariffs will not be imposed on them. From the UK, cars may come into India, and then again the tariffs will be almost minimal. Then you have things like the Scotch whiskey, which is the UK is well known for. The cost of that will reduce sharply, and so there are many, and textiles from India will be going to the UK. So what is going to basically happen is it's a very important achievement, and I think Mr. Modi this time is concentrating on the deal rather than any other fluff kind of programs. That's one thing. Secondly, there is also this security issue with a lot of pro-Khalistani activism happening in the UK. In fact, for that very reason, much of Mr. Modi's itinerary has not been made public for security reasons. You may recall that when Foreign Minister Jaishankar went to the UK, there was some kind of a protest that happened in front of him, and it was seen as a security lapse, and it caused some kind of a embarrassment for the UK. So to avoid any such things, I think they're probably keeping the non-important or the fluffy events as the second preference, and also to that extent, use the time to focus on deals that are issues that are more important. And also, let's not forget that this FTA is happening at a time when the US is threatening reciprocal tariffs, and he has heightened this entire tension regarding trade amongst countries. And this one between India and the UK, in some ways, it bucks the trend, and it also goes to show that countries can have mutually agreeable deals to benefit both countries. So you look at it from all these perspectives. I think this time really the focus is different from the previous ones. This is his fourth visit, incidentally, by the way, to the UK. Yeah.
And this obviously is a significant milestone in India-UK relations. And Modi is also said to meet King Charles the Third. So more on this in the coming days. And let's move on to the next question. So Modi is also going to Maldives to attend their Independence Day as such a guest of honor. So even though India's ties with their new president have been tense in the past, this is happening. Modi is going to Maldives. So is this just for show, or do you think it signals a real improvement in relations? And what does India hope to gain from this trip to Maldives?
Uh,
Especially given that many Indians are also there, working there, especially.
yeah, the visit to Maldives is very significant because it symbolizes a full circle from complete tensions when the Muzo came to power in Maldives. You recollect, the kind of tensions that arose, and and India said that we are going to developed Lakshadweep as an alternative to the Maldives. But what happened in real time is that a lot of Indian tourists who were supposed to go to the Maldives actually canceled their visits, and it made a significant impact on Maldivian economy. That is one thing. Secondly, Maldives also realized that without, India has historically been very close to the Maldives, and even geographically, it's much more closer to the Maldives. So, though Muzu came on an India out campaign, where the demand was Indian soldiers who were stationed in Maldives, not a very big number, but still they were in the Maldives to help them operate some of the Indian military equipment. They were asked to be sent back, and they actually returned to India. So this was a very it was a kind of a low in Indian Indo Maldivian relations. But since then, in Maldives has realized that you can't completely ignore India and then have relationship with China alone, because even with China, Maldives realized that they are getting into a debt kind of a situation where they have to repay the debt which, for all the loans that they have got from China. So slowly over a period of time, reality has kicked in as far as Maldives is concerned, and they realized that in this neighborhood it makes sense for any of the countries to have a evenly poised or evenly balanced ties between India and China, and the smarter countries will play the game both ways. They will also keep India happy, they will also keep China happy. So this kind of a balancing act is very crucial for especially the smaller countries in this region. They can neither afford to antagonize India nor China. So Maldives, the visit of Modi to Maldives kind of indicates this kind of a balancing act by the Maldives, which works to India's benefit as well, because India would really, has indicated that it would prefer to continue its close relationship with Maldives. It has, in fact, offered a lot of help as far as Maldivian infrastructure is concerned, and in other areas of development. India has been quite liberal with Maldives, even promised to service some of its debts. So, in that sense, it's definitely a full turn, 180 degrees from being hostile to being very friendly. And Modi's visit to Maldives, in that sense, political sense, is, I would even say, is far more significant than even the visit to the UK, though that is at a different level.
What you say actually makes a lot of sense, sir. Maldives, they do have to cruise their way, balancing diplomatic ties. With that, on that note, thank you so much for your time, viewers. For more such analysis, stay with us, the Federal. Thank you.
Thank you.